Our teacher was a predator, so I taught him a lesson he'll never forget. It started small, things that at first didn't even register as wrong. Mr. Hawthorne was the kind of teacher everyone liked, or pretended to. Early 40s wore those too tight dress shirts that screamed midlife crisis. Always cracking jokes, always the cool one. But the girls in class, they didn't laugh. They smiled, tight, uncomfortable smiles, and kept their heads down. At first I thought maybe they were just shy. It's high school. Everyone's awkward. But then I started noticing more. The way he'd call only on the girls. The way he'd lean too close when he talked to them. How he always seemed to accidentally brush their arms when handing back papers. How every time he said their names, it came out too soft, too familiar. One afternoon, I saw him cornering Emily, this quiet freshman, by the lockers. She was clutching her books so tight, her knuckles were white. Mr. Hawthorne was smiling, talking low, too low. She nodded. Not the way you nod when you're agreeing. The way you nod when you just want to get away. When he finally left, I asked her if she was okay. She flinched like I'd hit her. "I'm fine," she said. Too fast. "I'm fine." But she wasn't. None of them were. I started paying closer attention after that. Watching. Listening. There were patterns. Girls getting called after class for extra help. Girls getting special assignments no one else knew about. Girls getting private tutoring in his classroom during lunch. Always the girls. Always alone. I tried talking to a few of them. They shut down fast. "He's just strict. I don't want any trouble. I need good grades." Fear. That's what it was. And when I finally, stupidly, told a teacher, they smiled politely and told me Mr. Hawthorne was a valued member of the staff. When I pushed harder, the counselor said, "Sometimes students misinterpret friendliness." Misinterpret? Number. They were covering for him. I realized two things that day. One, no one was going to save those girls. And two, if someone was going to stop him, it had to be me. But not by reporting him, not by playing fair. Mr. Hawthorne was careful, a predator wrapped in a cardigan. If I wanted to end him, I had to be smarter, darker, worse. I started small. A recorder hidden in my hoodie pocket, nothing fancy. Just enough to catch the way Mr. Hawthorne talked to girls when he thought no one was listening. I captured hours of audio. "Come by after school. We can go over it alone. You have so much potential. Special girls like you need special attention. You don't need to tell anyone about our meetings. Some people wouldn't understand. Enough to make your skin crawl." But I didn't stop there. I went through yearbooks, past newsletters, looked at which students he singled out, who he mentored. The pattern went back years. Different faces, same story. Some of them had left the school. I found a few online, through social media, old forums. I reached out carefully, not pushing, just offering an ear. Some ignored me, but a few responded. They told me stories worse than I imagined. Late night calls, inappropriate messages, threats when they tried to speak up. One girl, Amanda, said he told her, "No one will believe you. They'll just think you're a liar who wanted attention." And he was right. When she told the administration, they labeled her emotional and quietly suggested she transfer schools, which she did. I built a file. Audio recordings, testimonies, photos of Mr. Hawthorne getting too close, touching shoulders, hands lingering too long. But I still needed more. Mr. Hawthorne wasn't just slick. He was beloved. A reputation like a bulletproof vest. If I was going to destroy him, I had to turn his own world against him. I started by playing the long game, befriending him, staying after class, asking for help, laughing at his dumb jokes. It made me sick, but it worked. He let his guard down around me, started treating me like one of his cronies, told me things he shouldn't, about parties the staff threw, where boundaries were different, where things happened and stayed quiet. He bragged about it, smirked like the king of a castle built on fear. And that's when I set the trap. Mr. Hawthorne loved technology, thought he was a genius because he used an iPad in class, so I gave him one. A second-hand iPad, jailbroken, loaded with hidden spyware, looked brand new. I accidentally left it in his classroom after a tutoring session. He found it, of course, and kept it. Everything he typed, every site he visited, every photo he took, I had it, including the private folder he created, labeled innocently enough, lesson plans. Inside were photos of students. Nothing outright criminal, but disgusting, inappropriate, creepy. Zoomed in shots of girls bending over desks, photos of girls eating lunch